What's up, Foundation? What's up, YouTube? Man, it's me, your big partner, Cartoon 53. Man, I'm back again. Man, I'm back again, man. I'm finna speak on current events. Current events. I ain't gonna prolong it, man. Gonna get straight to it. Man, lately, the demographics in the scene in LA have been changing. It's been changing, man. It's been a lot of peace talk going on. It's a lot of sets coming to the table, man, sitting down, trying to hash out their differences, trying to mash out their differences and come to an understanding. Um, I wasn't out in 1992 for the whatever that was, the truce, the gang truce in 92. I was in prison. I was in Pelican Bay then. So I didn't experience that. And the way my mind was back then, I wasn't giving a dang about no peace, period, anyway. So, it is what it is, was what it was. It's going to be what it's going to be, or see. But anyway, now, years and years and years later, LA is trying to take a turn, man. LA is turning. Been gang banging a long time, you know what I'm saying? Way before 1969. LA had gangs, just had other gangs. You know what I'm saying? So, the mentality in LA with this gang culture is in our DNA. It's our culture. It's, what I'm saying? It's what we are about. It's our identity. LA gang culture had for many, many, many years is what has identified us and is what we have identified by. You know what I'm saying? The gang capital of the world. So anyway, now here it is, all these years later, you have a lot of people that's looking toward change, looking toward, peace, looking toward ending all the old rivalries and all the old things that kept us at each other's throat for so many, 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 many years. For some sets, it's going to be a little bit easier. For some sets, it's going to be a little bit harder. Depend on the validity of the war that you went through and who you went through the war with. You know what I'm saying? A lot of wars are the win losses are predicated on how many funerals you went to. But at the end of the day, it's stupid, man. Because if we sent y'all to 10 funerals and you only sent us to 8, that's 18 people gone. You know what I'm saying? That's 18 young lives lost. For what? For what? You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, the set is the set, the hood is the hood, the whatever it's going to be. You know what I'm saying? We going to claim these few little blocks right here. Even though we know at the end of the day, them white folks come in there, man, and destroy everything over there. And it's nothing that we can really do about it. Nothing we can do about it, man. But until that day come, we're going to put our all in all and our hearts into representing these few little old blocks that we've claimed to for ourselves. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a negative thing. Because you are from a gang, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not going to try to sugarcoat it, an organization, a group, a section. No, homie, it's a gang. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. And that's what it is. But just because you are a part of one doesn't mean you have to be out there doing negative things. It's a lot of people in this day and age, and I've been peeping it since I've been out of prison. They from the set, but are they contributing to the downfall of the community? No. Just because you from there, and when I'm saying from there, I mean whatever that set is, that gang is, it don't mean that you are participating in the downfall of the community, man. So whatever them little way out narrative that people that are 50 million miles away and can't even spell the word gangbang got to say don't mean spit. We could care less about what they feel, what they talking about, what they comments are, any of that could care less. You know what I'm saying? About people who have not lived our lifestyle or walked a mile in our shoes are talking about. They ain't talking about nothing. Wasting your time. But anyway, in this day and age, like I say, man, it's a lot of people looking toward changing the narrative on what LA has been about for the last wop-de-wop years. Some people are with it, some people not. Some people, you know what I'm saying, take a little bit longer to come to that. Some people may never come to that. You know what I'm saying? You never know. But that's not what's stopping the powers that be from trying to intervene. You know what I'm saying? I'm just, lately I've heard a lot about this grid and all this other stuff, but comes back to basically gang intervention. The gang intervention people that are usually, from what I see now, are being conducted and ran by, you know what I'm saying, brothers that was a part of that lifestyle at one time. You know what I'm saying? That have loved, lost, and yearned in that lifestyle, Trying to do something different, man. Trying to help, Trying to help bring it back together. I keep my ear to the streets. I keep my ear to the ground, It's a lot of people that's of the opinion that a lot of this stuff that's going on now was started 1,000 years ago. I'm just saying. And homies in my generation, and that's around in my age group, a lot of the younger homies want to use the excuse, man, well, we didn't start this, man. Y'all started this. When we came about, it was already going on. We didn't do number feed into it. Okay, at one time, when you first came to the set and you was 11, 12, 13, 14, however, whatever age you were when you picked up your flag, okay, you might have could have said that. But now here it is, you in your late 20s, 30s, and 40s, you can't use that excuse no more, homie. You know what I'm saying? It's the older dude started it. No, because you are part of the older group now. You've been gang banging for 15, 20, 25, 30 years from your set, homie. You have contributed to all the foolishness and shenanigans and whoop-wop lambs that go on within your set. So don't blame it on the older generations. Now look at yourself too. In my section, the Avalons, as y'all know, our main enemies that we don't get along with are the four trades. I have been privy lately to some talks. You know what I'm saying? Homies, certain homies looking at, trying to squash that beef, trying to squash it. This right here is our 32nd year. Our 32nd years of officially being at all out war with them. You know what I'm saying? It been a lot of lives lost. Both sides. And so now when the homies first presented it to me about hey, we want to try to do this, this, and this. I ain't gonna lie, at first I'm like, what? Man, you know what I'm saying? I'm so militant minded and I'm prone to war more than I am to peace. You know what I'm saying? But, like I say, man, I'm 60 years old. I'm to the point now where I know how to listen and do what's best for us as a whole. I'm not selfish no more. You know what I'm saying? Oh, well, they did this to my homie. They did that. I don't like them. I ain't gonna never like them. You know what I'm saying? At one time, that was me. Man, written in stone, that was me. I jumped into that situation with both feet and hands and participated fully 1,000%. But now when the homies come to me and they present certain things to me like, hey, cuz, hey, man, let's try to do this, homie. It's time for this. I say, homie, look, I'm like this here, man. Far be it for me to stand in the way of something that's going to benefit all of us as a whole. So, a lot of my homies were shocked, like, dang, Toon, you willing to come to the round table? I'm like, yeah, cuz, I'm willing to come to the round table. Because, you know what I'm saying? What we gonna do? Just keep going to ain't no more blacks on the east side, period? Ain't no more blacks in LA, period? We just gonna give up the ghost like that? And we are becoming an endangered species, man, especially on that east side, man. But anyway, it's like, yeah, it's not so much as the old heads. The old heads that people want to say might have been the ones that started it or, was there when it started. But now in this day and age, it's the youngsters that perpetuate it, that keep it going. You know what I'm saying? Whether they was there whether they know what it started for, or whether they don't. When they became indoctrinated into whatever set that they claim, they were told who they got along with and who they don't. A lot of them wasn't told why we don't get along with them, but neither did they really care. All they knew is, okay, I'm from here now, and we don't like them, and them. So boom, it's on site with them, and them. You know what I'm saying? So now here it is, a couple of years later, whatever. When peace talks start rising up, they young, they wild, they don't want to hear it, man. No, man, no. You know what I'm saying? Because in they short little gang banging career span, whoever them, and them are, they have had their own confrontations with them. You know what I'm saying? So it ain't about what the old head started or what the old head was getting into. Y'all going off what y'all going through with them, and them now. What you going through up at junior high school with them. What you going through up and down the streets with them cats. Y'all, you know what I'm saying? Whatever it may be. So, yeah. So now here it is. The old heads who have been through it, the ups and downs, the turns arounds and all this, now when they start want to talk this peace talk and come to the round table, it's you youngsters that don't want to do it now. And yeah, this how I go because this how I go in my section. You know? Man, why? Man, F them. Woo, woo, woo. But now the cold part about it, a lot of the fools that be coming and be talking that talk about, we don't want no peace with them, man. We don't want to. Them the same ones ain't doing nothing anyway. Ain't throw rice at a wedding if they was the best man, but they talking this killer war talk. Okay, what have you contributed to the war then? Just the fact that you just run around saying you don't like them? You ain't shot nobody. You ain't unalived, as they say in YouTube now, nobody. You ain't did nothing. Might have wrote on the wall a little bit. But other than that, what? What? What leg do you have to stand on to keep running around acting like you don't want to come to the round table with them, or them? You know? LA is changing, man. LA is changing a lot. And it don't make a difference how it go. 9 times out of 10, the majority gonna rule. So at the end of the day, man, if the majority are pushing toward this peace, then everybody else eventually gonna have to fall in line. They're gonna have to fall in line, man. The same way when they got put on the set, that they took wholeheartedly to whatever war the set was in with, they fell in line. Okay, now when the powers that be, the old heads, as they say, are talking this peace talk, eventually you youngsters gonna fall in line too. You know what I'm saying? Or be dealt with accordingly. You know what I'm saying? Now, a lot of people out there, man, what you talking about, man? Man, that's how it go, man. That's how, man, y'all say that mess for the internet, that tough talk. I don't want to hear it. If your set have a meeting and come together, and the powers that be, that's over whatever section you may be a part of, say, hey, man, look, this is what we finna do right here. You're going to follow suit, youngsters, and old heads too that might still be a little ignorant. You're going to follow suit, or guess what? Man, y'all going to be having a DP in whatever section you from every day. You know, to some give. Yeah, some give, some going to have to give. You know what I'm saying? So I key in on the fact that, you know, I've heard a lot of talk, people saying that it's the old head's fault. Y'all started it. What difference do it make who started it? You know what I'm saying? For the last 10, 15 years, you've been participating in it. So you just as much at fault as the old heads who started it. You know what I'm saying? Right. So that's real on that tip, man. That's real on that tip. I shocked myself when a couple of little while back, while back, when it was presented to me, and I shocked myself, and I'm like, cuz I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? And every set's different, man. Every set's different, man. It's just like a human being. We all got different fingerprints. Every section, man, got a different way of doing whatever they doing, because over here in this section, this set war with this set might not have been as volatile as over here in this section, whatever war that they had going on with whatever section that they beefing with. The war might be older and it might have been more heinous. It might have been more volatile. It might have been more lives lost over here. So it might take this section, these two sections over here, just a little bit longer to come to grips with, hey man, we gonna be cool with each other from here on out. You know? It might, it's just, everybody's different, man. Every section is different, man. You can't put a blanket statement on where everybody from and what everybody is about, whether they Crip or Blood. You can't do that. Every section is going to be, they're going to have to handle their candle in their own way. You know what I'm saying? Like, because over here, they haven't done nothing to each other in the last 3-4 years. It's a little bit easier for them to like come to the round table, man. But now over here, these two sections over here might have just dropped they might have just dropped one of them, and they might have went back and just dropped one of them that's not even 3 months old yet. So, that right there is going to be a little bit different. It's going to be a little bit harder to say, hey, man, we going to wave the white flag to each other. It varies. It's a little bit harder. It's a little bit harder, man. Like, some sections, like I say, they at a Cold War. For those who don't know what a Cold War means, it means okay, my group don't get along with your group, but our groups haven't done anything to each other in years. So we see y'all over there, y'all see us over here. We don't like y'all don't like us. But we have became to the point to where y'all stay over there and we gonna stay over here. That's a Cold War. You know what I'm saying? Now a hot war is where y'all, y'all rat-a-tat-tat and all the fools scat. You know what I'm saying? Right now. You know what I'm saying? Y'all going at it. Y'all going at it. It's hard to call peace in that type of environment. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't even try to. If the war is hot in its own, just to be honest with you, I wouldn't even expect for you to try to cause peace. Or, you know what I'm saying? No, man, we just lost the homie, man. Feelings and emotions are riding high. You know what I'm saying? Feelings and emotions are riding high, man. So yeah, it's not nothing that's written in stone. It's not no one set of rules that can be applied to everyone. You just can't do it, man. You just got to take it day by day and see how it go. As you see these two sets that have been mortal enemies for 20, 30, 40, years, now you see them holding hands and kicking cans now with each other. Oh, okay. Boom. It's like a domino effect. The next group will see it. The next group will see it. And it just goes on and on and on. Like I say, a domino effect to the point it spreads, It spreads. People go to talking in the back, in the dark, in the booth with each other now, Hey man, y'all heard about whoop wop wham and beam bam bam? What's up? Oh man, you know what I'm saying? They ain't even beefing no more, homie. They call the truth. They ain't even, for what? Man, for real? Cuz, I'm telling you, yeah. Oh, dang. Man, that's a trip, man. I never thought they got along. I'm hip, cuz. That's how it go. Then, you know what I'm saying? Next thing you know, when it's presented to them, that pill is a little bit more easier to swallow, It's a little bit more easier to swallow. And then, for those who know, man, dudes went to war behind all type of things. There's nothing written in stone that they went to war about, whether it was a female, whether it was money, whether it was drugs, whether you stepped on my biscuits at a house party y'all had y'all set and we went to fighting, or no matter what it was, It started. A lot of people, make think that, dudes fell out way back when over a female. Man, it wasn't always about a female. You got 100,000 different sets in LA. Every set that's beefing with each other did not fall out about no female. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole bunch of other stuff to fall out about other than females. But, the same way people can fall out, man, if it's enough people pushing the hard line on it, they can fall back in, man. They can fall back in. So you never know, man. You never know. I can't do nothing but post up and stay tuned. You know what I'm saying? Stay tuned. Because eventually, like I say, at around this time right now, my section is going through some sit downs, some talks, and trying to get some stuff together and hammer some stuff out. Because especially on that east side, man, we up against it a little bit more than sets on the west side. But like I say, blacks on the east side, we slowly but surely coming an endangered species. And if we keep bopping each other across the head, like we've been doing for the last 30, 40 years, we ain't even got to worry about no sets being on the east side no more. Ain't going to be no sets. It ain't going to be nothing but videos. Because we going to be gone. So, on the overall, like I say, am I with peace? Yeah. Like I say, I ain't got no problem with nobody, man. Unless it's some personal stuff. But other than that, we can come together, man. Malcolm X say by any means necessary. I used to tell the dudes out here in Alabama, you know what I'm saying, in Cali, we didn't too much trip on what Martin Luther King was talking about. We wasn't studying what Martin Luther King was talking about. You know what I'm saying? We ran behind what Malcolm X was talking about. That was our guy. King might have been everybody else's guy someplace else. But in Cali, Malcolm X was our guy, hands down. But he was a warrior, and we got that warrior spirit. But the same way we got that warrior spirit, we got to have a warrior mentality. You feel what I'm saying? No matter, sometimes you got to swallow your pride. Sometimes you got to take a back seat in whatever the situation is at that time for the greater good of the community. We're going to stay posted, y'all. We just going to watch and see how this unfold, man. LA is changing. It's changing. Let's do what we have to do, man, as individuals to push it to where it changed for the better, man. That's me, man, your big partner, Cartoon 5-3, man. I represent the gangsters, the Avalon gangsters. I'm out, y'all. Peace.
Gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie, gangsta boogie. Ain't nobody gangsta boogie. 4-2-1, man. 4-2-1, man.